Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has essentially announced his presidency, his run for 2024, even if he's indicted. Now, there's a Politico article today. It's the first time that he states very clearly, quote, if a thing like that happened, him getting indicted in 2023 after Joe Biden gets impeached, because that's what's going to take place. The impeachment is certain for a number of issues. All you have to do is look at the emails, Hunter's emails in the New York Post and Daily Mail, okay? You don't have to make anything up. It's right there. Graft, bribery, serious felonies. It's right there within those emails. Kickbacks, 10% to the big man. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf? And then you have Joe meeting Hunter's business associates in the West Wing, lying to the American public. I guess it's okay when you lie if you're a Democrat, but my God, if Trump says that he has a greater, a crowd size number that's greater than what people think, oh my God, it's the end of humanity. Joe meets in the West Wing with Hunter's business associate for kickbacks dependent upon altering U.S. foreign policy. It's no big deal. Trump University is worse. But anyway, he told Hugh Hewitt, quote, if a thing like that happened, him potentially getting indicted, quote, I would have no prohibition against running. Trump said in an interview with conservative talk radio host Hugh Hewitt, I think if that happened, I think you'd have problems in this country, the likes of which perhaps we've never seen before. I don't think the people of the United States would stand for it. Now, H.A. Goodman is against civil unrest. I condemn it, and I'm not only abiding by YouTube policies, this is my own value system. I did not condone, nor did I find it moral or effective, $1 to $2 billion in property damage, 19 lives lost, which is an abomination, a real atrocity. I mean, numerous atrocities took place that summer, and 14,000 arrests. I support the cause that summer 2 years ago of why peaceful people demonstrated. I do support that cause, okay? I think that it was a worthwhile cause that people demonstrated peacefully. I don't agree with the civil unrest that led to hundreds of millions and billions in property damage, 19 lives lost, 14,000 arrests, according to Wikipedia. And so you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where there's projection. I do not condone any calls for civil unrest. He wasn't calling for civil unrest. What happens is, what media does is they'll say, Trump, he's Lindsey Graham. Well, Lindsey Graham might have said an actual specific. So Lindsey Graham was completely off. There's not going to be any civil unrest, even if Trump gets indicted in 2023 just because of a response to impeachment. Because there's a railroad strike that's going to cripple the economy, heaven forbid, even worse than it's already being crippled. So, railroad strike might actually take place. Looming railroad strike could impact Southern. Okay, so you're looking at the union. Oh, okay. Tentative deal to avoid strike is reached. Thank God. Well, we'll see how that holds up, because the union just voted to actually strike. So we'll see how that holds up. But we have inflation. Thank goodness there was a tentative deal. But we have inflation through the roof. Interest rates rising in a recession. We have layoffs and corporate profits declining in the near future. So you have to look, ladies and gentlemen, and the Dow is now 30,000, below 31,000. It's going to be below 30,000 soon. The stock market is going to crash. Hit subscribe, by the way, to the Stock Market Crash channel. Hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'll be doing a lot more work on those two channels very soon. But we're actually going to zoom past 200,000 very soon. Midterms are not going to be good for Democrats. The House is going to become Trump Republican. The House Oversight, Judiciary, and Intel committees are going to endlessly investigate mashed potato brains and Hunter and everyone who set up and framed Trump, just like the Durham probe. There will be parallel investigations. You cannot utilize a dossier purchased by Clinton and the DNC to go after Trump. You just can't do that. And we have a Durham probe trial on the Steele dossier subsource is on trial October 11th. So October, and then you have the Durham probe trial. He'll get one conviction out of 5 counts. So you get a conviction there, and then you'll get midterms, the House, almost certainly the Senate. I'm not making a firm prediction there, but I do think the Senate's going to go Republican. Because I can't imagine people who just draw a T-chart in their mind saying recession, possible depression, or Trump. With a great economy, household median incomes at record highs, poverty at a record low, 10.5%, a record low in poverty at 10.5% since poverty numbers were being recorded. That's the whole allure, the whole, selling point of being a Democrat. You care about poor people. Well, there you go. Trump had poverty at 10.5%, the lowest since 1959, since the poverty rate was recorded. Now it's close to 15% poverty. Okay? There's a Sesame Street episode, I think it's like, what was it, The Count? And, he's like, maybe there's a Sesame Street episode where, 15 cookies, is greater than 10, Like, 15% poverty is more poverty than 10. With Trump, we had 10. With Biden, we have 15% poverty. Which is the country more impoverished under Biden? Is the country wealthier under Trump? The answer is obvious. The country was wealthier under Trump in 2019. And then that's before Democrats and media and experts and bureaucrats, the morally superior, the highly educated among us, pushed to end economic activity his last year in office. We didn't have to do that. That was a choice. Don't say, well, we didn't know what we were doing. No. There was a political motive in kicking Trump out of office as well. We had a record low in poverty, 10.5% in 2019. When I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. Okay, the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. You can see that on my website. It's being revamped. Or a couple articles that I wrote. The article predicting the stock market crash and recession. I'm putting that up top. That's gonna be on the website soon. But in the Federalist in October, so read that article. It's below in the description and pinned comment. When I was writing in the Hill of the Huffington Post salon, and the articles were being shared hundreds of thousands of times in 2015, 2016. The number one reason I pushed for Bernie Sanders, because I was on the left my whole life, is because I wanted an anti-interventionist foreign policy. Okay? We have that with Trump. I wanted a foreign policy opposed by the Lincoln Project. Because anything the Lincoln Project does, you need to oppose. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld plunged the entire planet into endless counterinsurgency conflicts. Okay, or plunged this country, I should say. And you had just the most atrocious foreign policy. Okay, you want to talk about morality? It's immoral to vote Democrat, knowing that Lincoln Project people are helping push certain types of foreign policy. So that was one. Trump, Doha Agreement, Abraham Accords, first president stepped foot in North Korea, opposed by the Lincoln Project. So that is one reason you vote for Trump, and that was one reason I had voted for Bernie Sanders, even though Bernie would have done whatever Democrats wanted. He was cheated, didn't say anything. That's another story. The second thing is record lows in unemployment, poverty. I wanted economic justice. You got economic justice with Trump, but you got mean tweets. I'll deal with that. He insults people. Yeah, and Democrats literally use the government to go after their political rivals. That's exactly it's projection when they say that about Trump. They might actually indict him just as a response to impeachment because they have nothing to run on. We have Poverty at 15%. It's going to get worse with layoffs. Corporate profits will plummet. The stock market will crash. And we have everything from food shortages to food prices being at all-time highs. The inflation rate is 8 to 9%. It's getting worse. Not better, worse. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The Politico article is the first time where he says, yeah, I'm running even if indicted. And he'll defeat his any rival in the polls for sure, in many polls, even if indicted. Okay, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. People with a functioning brain cell are not going to vote for a recession as opposed to a great economy with Trump. I mean, you have to be a complete imbecile. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right